All right, what's good, y'all? Today we're talking about individual trainings. This is one of the most important things in order to develop your players to become better version of themselves. There are a lot of things you can do. You can encourage, you can discourage them from training. Some of these trainings that they are really needed in order to improve themselves, right? So let's just take a random player. For example, we can go with Pierre Kalulu. All right, this guy. This guy is a fullback. He's natural as a right back. He can also be as a center back. Now let's actually click this player and look at his abilities. He's a 6 foot, right? So he is a really good center back. But also he can be a really good right back because he's got the pace for it. He also has the crossing abilities. He also has the first touch. His technique is really, really well. I don't want to waste this type of player as a center back. Sure, if I have no really good center backs and I really need somebody to be able to play from the back and someone who's more of a ball playing defender, this guy is a beast. But I think because of his speed, because of his stamina, because of his mental abilities, because of his tackling and technique and crossing, he is a right back for me. So right away, I want him to be a right back. Also, this is one of the worst things you can have as a right back. If I do discourage you from playing a center back, I will actually want you to be a wing back. Okay? Because you're supposed to be staying to the furthest from the center. Don't want you to be closer to the center anyway. I want you to be exploiting the speed and your stamina on the right. So telling you to stay back at all times is kind of dumb, right? But I understand why he wants to do it because apparently when he started his career, he was a center back, and then over the years he learned how to play on the side. And I don't want you to stay back at all times. You have really good crossing. You know how to touch the ball. You have really good first touch. You have really good passing and technique. So I really don't need you specifically to stay back at all times. So what can we do? We're gonna go back real quick, all right? And we're gonna go back to the same player. Now you can actually change the in possession role that you want him to have. I don't want you to be an overlapping center back. I want you to be a wing back on the right. Okay. And out of possession, I also want you to be a pressing fullback because you can do that. You have the stamina in order to go ahead and the work rate and press. You are really good and you have good tackling, you have good marking. You can be a really good pressing wingback, really, really aggressive wingback. I don't want you to be a center back. So, individual training focus. What is his weakness? I mean, he doesn't have much weakness, right? If we're looking disability, we can actually go and get him to be better at crossing, improve the crossing and improve the technique, then he's really going to be a beast. Because I mean, in the physical side, he's super good. We're gonna get to this part at some point during this video, but you can train him to be crossing better. So 14, 15 crossing, 14, 15 in technique, one of the best right backs in the world. This is what I believe in. No progression data available, stays back at all time. This is a really, really bad trait. I actually want to remove this trait. I want to discourage you. Yeah, start training. I don't want you to. He's gonna work on removing this from his locker room. Basically, Paolo Cosi is gonna try to help him to remove this habit of staying back at all time. But now that we remove this, we need to actually train him to do some more stuff, right? So after he's done um, doing that, you can actually train him to get forward as much as possible, which is a really, really good trait you can train him to do. You can also ask him to assign all individual training, but I will discourage you. I don't want you to do this. I want you to understand your players' weaknesses and strength. How can you build on this? There are so many times where real life players literally get um, their position changed. Take, for example, Gareth Bale. We all know Gareth Bale, he started as a left back at Tottenham, and then what happened? He was shifted into a right winger, one of the best right wingers in the world, played for my favorite team, Real Madrid, and he was a beast. So, being a manager like Tottenham who doesn't understand their players' strength is not good because you are actually holding your players back and you're actually not developing because you might have a fantastic squad, but you even know if you don't know how to position them on the field, if you don't know how to develop them into better players, you're not going to do anything. So it's not enough to just put them on this position because sure, if you put them on this position over time, he's going to learn. But if you tell him, listen, even in training, not just in the game, in training, I want you to focus on being this type of player. Focus on this, and it's going to help you be better. You actually click the training units as well, right? And you understand obviously if he's a defender, it's going to be with the defender units. If he's an attacker, it's going to be with the attacking units, right? So this is actually really, really good. You can actually separate them if you want, and you can also put different units if you want. But I believe this is really good. Now going back to Pierre Kalulu, you can actually request a training report from him or from anyone, right, about this player, and they will all tell you how he's doing, how is he not doing. And this is Pierre Kalulu, for example. Let's take somebody else that we want to train him. Like so, if we go to the squad real quick and you click this, and let me see which one is the youngest player. We have this guy, uh, Vasily Adzic. Vasily Adzic. He's from Montenegro. Sorry, I butchered your name. Vasily Adzic. I think this is his name. So what is preferred position? He wants to play in the middle as an attacking midfielder. He can play on the wing as an inside forward. It's a stretch. I mean, he's not really that slow, but he's not the fastest. So I would literally keep him in the middle. In terms of being a playmaker, 13 is good, but not the best. In terms of technique and dribbling, yeah, he can be a really good attacking midfielder. Actually, what I would want him to be is a shadow striker. This one is called second striker, but it's a shadow striker. We all know it as a shadow striker. Shadow striker is basically his job is to find the gaps that are being left and exploit the space that are being left. This is best if you have a deep line forward or a false nine and a shadow striker behind him, because the false nine and deep line forward are gonna go down to receive the ball, leaving gaps. He's gonna go ahead and exploit. Right? We all know we're not talking about shadow striker right now. We can if we want, but I can make a video about it. Just let me know in the comments. But I can make a video about each specific position and role in depth, like 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes just explaining the role better than most people would ever tell you. So if you want, I can make a video about that. But if you're looking at this guy, Vasily Adzic, I'm gonna butcher his name throughout the entire video. Excuse me. He has good technique. I want to train him to be a second striker, a shadow striker, right? His left foot is actually really good, reasonable. So his right foot, obviously, this is his favorite foot. He likes to switch the ball to wide areas. This is good because he has 13 passing and he likes to switch the ball to wider areas. So if I were to position him on the field, I would literally go and tell him to take more risk and play more direct passes, because this is what he likes to do. Is this type of player who's always looking to exploit the spaces left and right, especially if he's right here and he finds Kalulu on the right, because Kalulu is going to be playing as a wing back who's going to be staying wide. He can find him in a wide pass, and this guy can go ahead and cross because you're training Kalulu to cross the ball better. So everything's connected, right? You have to look at the entire team and the entire pitch to understand which players are going to be better, which players are not going to be better. Now, what is this guy's weaknesses? I think the stamina and the work rate can be improved. I think also the attacking movements can be improved, like the composure, the concentration, decision. Those things are good. Finishing can be improved as well. So if I were to train him personally, right, you have all this information about him, which is actually pretty cool, right? You like all that shit. Um, but if you go back to training, right, and where was he on the list? Where was he? Mother. Boy, I swear to God, I just seen him. I can't find him on this list. Is this not the entire squad? What? I think Miretti is pretty young, right? 23 years old. Okay, let's look at Miretti. I don't know where that guy went. Um, as well, channel midfielder is in the middle. I don't want him to be in the middle or at the back because his tackling is not the best, his marking is not the best, and his positioning is just all right. His flair is really good, his dribbling is really good. I would want him to be here as a advanced playmaker. As you can see, he can also be advanced playmaker. I don't want him to be a channel midfielder because he's not as fast as he wants to be. His stamina and his work rate are pretty good. What I would go and improve with him is his finishing and the attacking movements, like the dribbling, the shooting, and the technique. He moves into channels naturally, so you can actually put him as an attacking midfielder. He moves into channels, he plays 1-2s, and he cuts inside from the left wing. So if you really are short, what actually I think, if I'm looking at this guy right now, what I would want him to be, because he plays 1-2s, because he likes to cut inside from the left wing, and because he has pretty good passing. I'm going to actually discourage him from moving into the channels, and I would play him on the left to cut in from the left to the right as a playmaking winger, because he has all of these abilities in his locker. That way, he doesn't really need to work on his finishing that much. He needs to be the guy who always passes, who cuts in and leaves the spaces for the wing, and makes the right back chase him or not chase him, and then he plays bam 1-2. You know what I'm saying? Like bam, 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 bam. Pass the ball, runs, gets the ball, and shoots. So there are a lot of things you can do. I'm gonna discourage him from moving into the channels. But before I discourage him, here's what I want to actually improve on him, just to show you kind of like what you can do to, to add traits, right? You can start new training right here, right? There's a couple things he can do with his passing. He can dictate the tempo if he's a playmaker on top. I don't want him to dictate the tempo because I don't want every ball to get to him and then he's gonna slow down and dictate the tempo. If you're on the wing, there's no reason for you to dictate the tempo. Try his killer passes often. You can, but he likes to play 1-2, so we can improve him by saying play short, simple passes. This is actually really good. I don't want him to play no through balls because he does have a good passing on him. Tries long range passes. Doesn't really need to if he cuts inside. The 1-2 is actually going to help him. This one doesn't really matter. This one doesn't really matter because he's not going to be crossing. He's going to cut inside. He doesn't need to stop the play unless he's in the middle as a playmaker. So this is all ridiculous. What I would do is actually play simple passing. But let's move on with this one as well. Run with the ball to the center. No, he's on the wing. Get into position area. He's already into the opposition area. Gets forward whenever possible. Doesn't really mean anything because he's already forward. Comes deep to get the ball. This could be really good for him to learn how to do that. Knock ball past opponent. He doesn't really need to dribble that much. Arrives late. No, he's not a box-to-box midfielder. Hogs line. No, he's not supposed to hog the line because he likes to cut inside from the wing into the center. Run with the ball often. No, run the ball late, rarely. This could be an option as well. In terms of that technique, we can actually tell him to curl the ball, and then if he improves his shooting, he's gonna have really good shots from outside. But his finishing is not really that good, so I'm not gonna really work on that. And then moves the ball to the right before dribbling. No, his left foot is actually pretty good. This is actually really nice. Likes the ball played into feet. Because doesn't really want to chase the ball, so this is actually a good idea. In terms of the finishing, all these things are really good. So what I would do is a choice between this one and a simple passes. I'm actually gonna go with this one. I think that's a suitable choice of trade for him to add to his game. I'll get him started on this right away. So even this guy agrees with me. But don't be telling me, yeah, they're always gonna agree with you, Classy. No, because most of the time they don't really agree with you, and they will let you know. Hey, I don't think it's a good trade. Let me give you an example. Watch. Gatti, right? This guy is a center back. I'm going to ask the guy over here to train him to round the goalkeeper. I'll sort it out for you, motherfucker. Why would you want to do that? Anyway, sometimes they will. That was a bad example, but sometimes they will literally argue with you and tell you this is not good. My point is always understand what your players' abilities are and how you can improve them, right? So again, I would go over here. I'd put you as an attacking midfielder left, as a playmaking winger. I'm also gonna train you out of position to be. Where is that? Is he not? Okay, attackers. He can be a really good splitting outlet attacking midfielder. Someone who stays up but stays in the middle so we can spear it. So what he does basically, if he gets the ball, okay, if he gets the ball here, if the enemy team is attacking us and we're getting the ball for a counter, he's not gonna be wide. He's gonna be staying up, but he's gonna stay up towards the middle. And then if you're playing through the middle, because you have a lot of players in the middle like we're gonna have, then it's gonna be really good for you. So everything that you're doing should not be considered by your tactic. What I mean is, don't just give a player trait that's going to help your specific tactic right now. Because what happens if you change a tactic? Then what happens? I really think that this guy can be a playmaking winger either over here and over there in the most tactics that I'm gonna choose. So it's really really good. But even if he's not gonna be a playmaking wingback, a winger, he still has all of these abilities that he can learn. He's still gonna be a good channel midfielder. Still gonna be advanced playmaker. I just think that mastering this playmaking winger position is gonna help him naturally, right? So always choose the traits that's going to help the player in general, no matter what tactics you're using. If you want to cover something else in the future, please let me know. I'm always thinking about things to improve and to talk about. So I like to just go by the tabs and talk about something, right? We talked about training, individual training. I can make a video about full team training and what to decide, how to choose the right trainings based on your tactics. Because a lot of people think that they can just delegate this to the manager or download the training from the online or something, or just use the default. But it gets really, really deep. So we can talk about that. It's another good idea. Um, we can talk more about. We talked about morale. We talked about contracts. We talked about a lot of stuff. I can teach you about squad numbers. I'm just kidding. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We talked about database. We talked about recruitment. We talked about contracts as well. I mean, Data Hub, we can look at it and actually like talk about it if you guys want. There are a lot of things on the screen right now, so this might be like a long video, like a 20-minute long video, if not more, because there's so many things to talk about. I'll have to simulate one of my saves and then just kind of like after like 5, 6, 7 months or 4 months, look at this and then we can analyze it together. And I swear I'm not gonna look into it until I actually make the video. That way, it's spontaneous and basically like I'm going to learn about how my team is doing while I'm making the video. I think it's gonna be a good idea. But like I said, I've been your boy Klutzy. If you like what I do here, if you like my setups and stuff, just let me know. However you want to do that, and I'll be here for that. Like I said, I appreciate you and thank you so much for being here.